the session is basically on how do we contribute and how steel will contribute to the growth of Indian infrastructure. Okay, so there are various points which we can discuss amongst the panelists, and I would also like to have good input, good questions coming out from all of you. Let's make it more interactive, not just to ensure that nobody is sleeping here. Right, so the first point which comes in everybody's mind when we use steel, whenever we are asked to design in steel, people will have number of questions. So what are the challenges that we face in choosing steel as a material for construction, specifically when we are talking about infrastructure projects? Okay, so Mr. Mohan, I'll start with you. Maybe what kind of challenges you would be coming across, how people will be putting it to you being a PEB manufacturer?
Thank you, and good afternoon everyone. Challenges, you see, every project has challenges. If someone says that a project is something which will go straight line without any issue, then we are actually fooling ourselves. Problems would come, how you react and how you respond is what is important. Mainly, yeah, in a pre-engineered building, if at all anyone wants to start a project, whether you go for a pre-engineered building or a civil, it is basically three aspects. One is timelines, next is the cost, and the longevity. These are the three major things which are really put up. Yeah, challenges, if you really see coming to pre-engineered building, there are many. Right now, of course, everyone looks at the price. Last time I was talking, but no one really looks at cost, and we want very fast.
Yes.
So that's one of the main aspects. So what we see now, the biggest challenge in pre-engineered steel building, while all others I'm not really considering it, is the workforce availability at the sites, the skilled manpower at sites. That is one of the reasons why people are coming back to pre-engineered steel building or steel buildings. I would not say pre-engineered. Because if it is a concrete, there are a lot of battalion of people working and we are used to it. But if at all we wanted a faster growth, like transforming the country into a fast pace, trying to become a, number 3 in GDP growth, we need to go into steel because the number of people are not available. People are not available who are working at sites for many, many years. So now we need to do the same thing with less number of people. So that is one of the biggest challenge right now. And of course, the steel price volatility, fluctuations, this really impact the overall cost. But I would say I don't really consider it as a challenge. Yeah, there are challenges where we need to face and come out of it.
Right, we need to address those challenges.
Absolutely.
Maybe we take a step forward, we try to create more manpower pool. Probably we need to have many more
manpower pool, and not only that, the differentiation has come down. We need to look at automation. We need to look at people who can really do a proper fabrication, who can really give a proper buildings, not just a look-alike buildings.
Right, correct. So you need to have really skilled people. As the morning I was mentioning, you need to have experienced people designing steel. You will need accuracy levels. You will need thorough knowledge, fundamental knowledge of the subject. So availability of people having all those quality is always going to be a challenge.
Nowadays, right? Availability of people, forget about the workmen. I am telling you, civil engineers itself is coming down.
Yes.
How many engineering colleges are having civil engineering? A lot of people on IT, computers. So I am really worried. In the future, what would be India is going to face a huge shortages of civil engineers.
Right.
I just want to add
something to
just one thing because you brought up the civil engineering part. So I would go one step further. I think there are a lot of civil engineers available, I guess, but the problem is qualified ones.
The quality.
The quality of the civil engineers that's available, especially I would say structural engineers and the ones who have a master's in structural engineering, who would be capable of designing all these beautiful steel structures that we are kind of looking for. We're currently trying to hire a lot of people, and for every about 100 resumes we get, we probably interview 6 or 7 and choose one. So that speaks to the quality of engineers that we are providing or producing, I should say. And that also goes to show that, I mean, there needs to be some reform in our curriculums where not only steel needs to take front stage, but also all the digitization. I mean, the world is going somewhere, and when we looked at the digital scale of different industries, civil and construction industry is at the bottom of most everything.
Yes.
So agriculture is even above us. So I think that's something that we definitely should look into.
Yes.
Yeah. If we are talking about transforming India's infrastructure with steel, I think there cannot be transformation without a big digital transformation that has started, but there is no integration, I think. We are living in our own silos. We as engineers, architects, contractors, everybody, the integration has started happening, but there needs to be more of that.
Yes, yes.
Just to throw a small perspective, Thank you. Just to throw a small perspective on that every such forum or conference, this topic, opens up, the key ingredient or the reason, I would say, is the industry and the academics gaps, basically the kind of engineers that gets produced, but then the kind of, requirements on the practical aspects, the knowledge, the experience, or maybe the kind of upgradation of the curriculum and industry interface plays a major role. That's the gap. And secondly, as you rightly mentioned, we have a lot of civil engineers, although if you see the numbers wise, every year getting qualified, but then there are a lot of people, a lot of engineers choose to turn to either IT or finance while they do the post-graduation.
Probably with the pace that we are talking about, we need many more civil and structural engineers than the numbers that we are getting today. We need many more. Probably, I was talking to a few professors of engineering colleges. People, whatever you say, they have more than 100% placement for civil engineers. MS University, Baroda, 100%, more than, they have 140% placement for civil engineering. So that speaks about demand. There is a huge demand. It's only a question of probably if we need, they will have to increase seats for civil engineer. We need many more. If you want to construct the country, you need to have so many engineers. Otherwise, how will you construct it?
How many civil engineers want to pursue the engineering of construction and civil?
That's a bigger question.
Why it is not being happening? That we need to look at it.
Right. So if somebody is not interested, he wants to divert himself, okay, fine, that's his personal choice. Let's have someone else who actually wants to pursue. Let's have people who can pursue career in civil engineering, who will be happy to do that. Let's find out those people and let's increase that pool. We basically, if we have to construct country and if we have to construct so many structures in a short period of time, we need people. That's absolutely bottom line. If they are not available, we as an industry leader will have to take responsibility to create that. Not to blame somebody that, look, this is not available to me. There's no point in complaining about it. We need to create it. Let's work towards that. And let's create that. We have to create that interest among civil engineers that you have a bright career. Don't worry about it. Today they think that I have to work on site. Why should I do that? Rather than that, I'll go get recruited in some IT company, sit on computer and do that job. Perfectly all right. If that is your choice, you can. There is no stopping that. But if you become a structural engineer, you will still be working in offices only. You will be working on challenging projects. You will be getting good placements. You will be in demand. So that these things needs to percolate rather than complaining somebody that you are not giving me that, you are not giving me this. We want to ensure, we want to tell them that, look, this is available. The kind of salaries, I am structural engineering firm, kind of salaries we are paying to a good qualified structural engineers, they will all agree with me, is much higher than what a computer engineering is getting paid for.
But it is less than the IT engineering.
Yeah.
But this is lesser the engineering, this is the good for the civil engineering demand. In the past, we have developed so many engineers and they finish the civil engineering. This is a very good period. What is
Yes.
required and what is the production. This is a balance kind of thing. It maybe it is a good vision to the civil engineer in the future. In the 1983, even a government is looking like by the Cherokee, where is a civil engineer?
Yes.
After the 86 and 90, the number of civil engineer produced and nobody wants. This is a very bad phase of the civil engineers. This is a good, this is a lesser engineer, this is a good for industries.
Yes.
And there may be a issue in the small time, there may be a 3-4 year, but after the 3-4 year, we definitely got the good professionals who are interested in the civil engineer, and who are not, they are left the civil engineer.
I think it's also not just about the numbers. It's also about the way the demand for, and the demand, I mean the nature of the projects that have come up in the past 5 years, and look at infrastructure projects just alone. I think even the existing experts are being challenged by the nature of the project, the scale of the project, the speed of the project, and the complexity of the projects.
Exactly.
So I think that itself is posing a very big challenge. So even the people who are qualified, who are experienced, are having to undergo a whole transformation.
Yes.
And I think that adaptability and how quickly you can adapt
Yes.
and meet the requirements is also one big challenge that we all have to gear up to. So it's not just the new lot, but it's also
Yeah,
the existing
the
lot.
existing one needs to upgrade themselves.
So I think that is something that we also need to look at continuous education.
One point I would like to say, just taking our theme, like transforming Indian infrastructure with steel, if you really see the economies who have changed to steel are the economies which have grown. You take US, you see Empire State Building, which is done in steel in early 19th century, 1900,
1935,
1910,
yeah.
And you take Europe, they're all in steel, Eiffel Towers or many things, and you go, most of the West, the construction is steel, glass and wood. So the countries who have adopted for the newer technology of steel are the people who have really grown. The reason being, even in India, if at all we need to transform from what we are today to at a faster pace, the main issue is speed. And speed is possible provided with the limited manpower, like we were talking about limited civil engineer. In fact, more than civil engineer, the people who are available at sites are much lower. So with the limited people, we wanted to run more than Usain Bolt. So that means that we need to really get into new technology, like steel is one thing, where we can construct buildings faster, so maybe with lesser number of people. And most of the work which was done at the site, like in civil, a lot of work is done at the site where a battalion of people are working, is transformed at least around 80% of the work or 90% of the work has gone into the factories. Only 10%. So the factory environment, we in India are still used to the factory way, and consistency of quality would come. So to have a country of ours getting into a faster pace, I would say steel is very, very important, because this is what is going to transforming us. And we are seeing a lot of things, like let us say we are doing a lot of railway stations now getting converted into steel, metro steel, which were always earlier concrete with asbestos sheets. Now metro stations have gone into steel, shipyards have gone into steel, and we are talking about huge span buildings which were not even thought about, we could not think now. Now even earlier marriage halls, let us take, were very small. Now people want lavish. These are all possible because of steel. So we, if at all we really wanted to transform Indian infrastructure, it has to be only with steel. It is not that concrete is good, because even today if you really take steel, the last time I was commenting on that, the percentage of steel construction in the overall construction is not even 1%. That is what we are in, and we are used to the wet construction, like we use our natural resources like sand, water milta bhi nahi hai, but we use it for curing otherwise. So these are the things we are using, and we are able to do it. So 1% is what, not even one, if I'm not wrong, is what we are using steel. So there's a huge scope, and if India can achieve what we are number 3 Number 3, I think we'll automatically achieve GDP. It is inertia. No one can stop it.
Yeah.
With the way it is going on, even with 4% GDP, we'll be at 3 by 2034.
Yes.
So that is not at all a task. But in case we want it to be faster, we have to adopt it, and all of us, maybe it is, of course, it is a part of, our acceptability. This is what I think.
Yeah. You are saying something? Kind of challenges that you face when you decide for...
I have 2 challenges at site today. You mentioned the lack of civil engineers or structural designers,
Yes.
people not wanting to pursue civil engineering as a profession. Today, I think the biggest challenge is availability of skilled labor.
Exactly.
It's the availability of skilled labor which is the biggest issue that the entire nation is facing. I would not stop myself from calling it anything short of a pandemic.
Yeah.
It's that level of issue that we are facing. People do not want to work in India. They would rather go and work as skilled labor elsewhere. Because of our government's policies, we cannot ask labor from other countries to come and work here. We are stuck with whatever we have, and that is forcing us to build at a much slower pace than what we should be doing. So that is one. So apart from all the macro issues that you've all talked about, this is one thing that we are facing. And again, we've done enough number of micro analysis. It's a lot to do with the Manrega scheme which was done. But this is a pandemic that the country is facing. So that's one issue that we face. Second issue is the volatility in steel prices. As a consumer of steel buildings, if I have to plan for buildings a year down the line, 2 years down the line, I do not know my cost today. And I wouldn't know my cost the day I begin construction or I place my purchase orders. That volatility has to come down. If we address these 2 issues, I think there's nothing that can stop this nation from becoming a superpower.
Right. I agree. Of course, I agree the first point. There are only 3 states in our country who supply people all over the country.
Yeah.
Many states do not have people who can work. The labor force. In fact,
that's true. They wouldn't like to become site engineers.
Thanks to our government policies, a lot of freebies, and it is really, we are in a very different situation. Coming to your point on steel price volatility, is definitely very high. But if you really see, the people who are getting hit in that steel price volatility is basically, finally you are buying a capex project. A capex is something where you finalize a project, and whether it is a owner driven to a corporate. Normally it is done at a board or at a owner. Once a price is fixed, you know that this is my price. And after that, you are not really concerned. But the guys who actually really have to execute the project, this project would take around 6 to 8 months or 1 year. The people who take the order, thinking that the guys who take the order are not an expert of forecasting steel. Even the steel mills who make millions of tons, you go and ask the owners, they would not know what would be the steel price 2 months from now. But the present situation is, the steel mill, the pre-engineered building manufacturers, they take some orders at whatever they expect certain price, and because of competition, they drop down and they beat up on the price and take it. If at all there is a variation, slight variation, they survive. If the variation is huge, then they are finished. And normally, any variation which is high, people would not like to change because their capex, their ROIs, everything gets changed. So the boards normally take time. So if you really see, this is one issue. Unfortunately, I don't think there is a solution today, because globally we have seen this type of variations are there, whether I have seen it in Europe But in those countries, they have a different way of working. Like, you know, in fact, like in India, the way we optimize, I don't think they optimize. The way they actually, they look at, but here unfortunately, steel has, the steel industry, or when I say not steel, the steel fabrication industry has got commoditized. Instead of, you know, you don't talk about civil, saying that kitna kilo ka cement lagta hai, kitna kilo ka sand lagta hai. So unfortunately it is happening, but this type of things are going to have an impact on the manufacturers who are actually taking up the jobs. If they are having, they are having deep pockets, they can manage and try to make up in the next project, which with the present market condition is very tough. And then they eventually you see, that is why you see a lot of steel fabricators coming up and vanishing.
So what you mentioned is very true. There was a classic case which happened with us. We had given an order at 78 rupees a kg, and suddenly the steel prices jumped and prices went to 106. No fabricator can survive this. So there are only two ways. Either I take the hit in terms of my capital capex that I am doing, or I halt the project. I will also have to sit and wait for the steel prices to cool down, and then we can continue with the project. But that's not how nations are built. If we have set out to do a project in a specific timeline, in a specific cost, it has to be completed. And we are not in the business of stocks or share market, so to say, that daily ups and downs is a part of our life. We are in the construction business, we are in the development business. The day we set out to start a project, prices are locked and it has to be done in the same cost cycle. We cannot absorb these sort of fluctuations in pricing. So we as a nation, we need to figure out one aspect that I think, and where you kind of pointed in that direction, is real estate developers have not embraced steel as a medium of construction. I am an industrial real estate developer. For us, steel is the go-to method of construction. But there are so many PEB guys in this room. How many of them are doing real estate projects? How many of them are doing residential projects? How many of them are doing commercial projects? The day we crack that is the day, what you mentioned as commoditizing PEB business would turn around. All of you would have enough business in your kitty to not only survive but flourish as well. But none of us are embracing steel as a method of construction.
But the steel is a very good material. Nothing is impossible without doing. And even real estate, we are the structure consultant. We are designing the 2.5 crore square feet of the commercial area, approximate 10 to 15 lakhs of residential, and 25 to 30 lakhs of the hospital buildings, and 13 railway stations, 2 airports. Even we are designing the underpass with the steel sheet pile. We have the insert this sheet pile and thus excavate, and the slab is resting on the sheet piles. So this is steel is not a issue. Issue is because this is the transition phase. Maybe somebody started today and the faces up to the 2 year or 3 year. After the 2 year, you are the master of the steel. Then you can play with the manufacturer, you can play with the fabricator, you can play with anybody else. This is when you are started. You will always face the teething problem in the steel, RCC, whatever you want. So this is not of the issue of the steel. This is the issue of the starting point. When I have started the structure composite building is started in India. I have designed the first building. I have developed the one Excel sheet in the 6 months. Because I don't know who is taught me how can design this composite section, how can design little bit, first, second, third, fifth. In the first building we have designed with the 6.5 kg per square feet. Now The building, even a 30-story building, we are designing with the 4.3 kg per square feet. So this is the criteria turning into a RCC to a steel. This is the right way. It is not like this, we can just facing the problem and remove it. So we can start. This is steel is the only solution. You are talking about the RCC until I think next 4 or 5 years. After 5 years, you don't have a choice. There is no labor is available, no resources is available. Then this is a steel is the only choice, because like Western world, like UK, US, there is almost 65% of the structure in the steel, and the only 10 to 12% in the RCC. So steel is very good, very flexible. You have an option. You have an only option after 4-5 years. Even and this logger definitely the cost is the issue. And when you are started the steel, you have a money in the pocket, because the no manufacturer is giving the credit or structure steel on the basis of the credit. It may be a 4-5 year. After 4-5 years, they will start like a reinforcement. So maybe a issue will solve like a cost.
Yeah, let me just add one thing to what Mr. Mohan said, that steel price volatility is not only unique to India. So from an international standpoint, I would say that's the same concern that our US offices kind of face as well. And again, skilled labor, I think internationally people feel that there's a lot of cheap labor in India, but the skilled labor part, I totally agree with you. I guess one thing that we've found change in our projects in the US is that the integration of various aspects has gone down so much that the time required to design and build the steel projects has gone down quite a bit. And so the volatility from the steel price itself is kind of also controlled. And that's why when I said earlier about the integration and digitization, I think that's where I was coming from. Right now we are working in our old silos where the architect designs a building, then the structural engineers does his structural design, then the fabricator comes in, then the erector, and then the contractor. So all those things, I think the different models, they're all getting connected. And the speed of construction and from the design to construction, it's kind of, we've designed the same similar size stadium 3 years ago versus this year. Literally it's gone down to half. And one of the main reasons is because kind of that controls from the owner's standpoint, obviously gets the building faster, but also I think there's more have more control on the pricing of the steel. So I think from both those standpoints, I think that's something that we should definitely look at.
Just to,
Yeah, so if we reduce,
Nowadays, manufacturers are also ready for the locking period, like a 6 month or 12 month. Even you can discuss and control it. Yeah. I have seen 2-3 projects. The developer is the contact to manufacturer, and the manufacturer is ready to locking the price for the next 6 months or next 10 or 12 months. Okay, so this is nowadays this is not a big issue. You can even discuss and control it.
So just to put the perspective of pricing variation, what Nirav bhai also mentioned, so it impacts, see, basically because now the world is becoming one market. What has happened is after pandemic, because see, while the markets opened up lately in certain parts of the world where we were in a good shape to start our construction, I think there were a lot of export which has happened, and now we are a net exporter of steel in India from I think 2017 or 18. The whole macro data points, if you see in last 7 years, I think there has been a complete turnaround. I mean, I think the national steel policy and the infrastructure projects that government has, the kind of push and the kind of investment that has come in the infrastructure projects, especially after 2015-16, unless and until I think at a larger layer, I feel that still only the national exchequer or the government can play role in the major projects in control of the prices, because then only the current momentum of the ongoing infra as a nation, what we are trying to achieve or complete. There are a lot of projects which are like, DMIC corridor, Bharatmala, there is, the metro train and a lot of, so if you compare the whole pie chart of the private players versus the national player, the government initiated projects, I think government has also done, billions of projects that they have already started or they have planned to complete by 2025 or 2023. Even the affordable housing, I would say the coal rolled steels and all that. Another point, I think what I also agree with, Abhijit, that the integration and the project management, because I come from a project management background, what we have largely been experiencing is over the last 2-3 years, the more and more developers are now going and opting for the, BIM, the building information modeling, the automation, designing the whole project on paper, or the contracting strategy, whether it is GC, general contracting, or a design and build, DNB contracting and all that. So, because you can't, change the overall framework of the pricing, but at least what you can do, what is in there, your hand is to kind of shorten the project duration and then freeze everything to the best possible manner so that there are no variations. I mean, then only we can probably be able to be efficient.
Can we also have some, sorry,
just
sir.
one last, so from, I think again from, just
One at the grassroots level actually. For example, let us honestly admit that in the curriculum of engineering also, not much of steel is being taught. Even when I was in 1971 to 76, when I was doing my engineering, hardly one semester, one course was there on steel. I don't think it has changed a lot even now. So we have to evince the interest of our engineers by bringing more curriculum. How many engineers know about the connection design, which is the most critical part in the steel?
Yeah.
Failure can happen only by connection. I would be surprised if not only even professor for that matter also cannot know much about the connection design.
Right.
That is the basic thing which we have to bring in. And then automatically people will be fascinated by the steel design and will turn into steel industry. I would even honestly say, having been in conventional for 20 years and PEB for 25 years, if at all some interest has happened in steel after the introduction of PEB because of the remunerative packages. I'm
Yes.
telling you, not because of the interest in steel. They come and then learn, but we have to change this by introducing more into the curriculum. If you can do that only, I think there is more depth of civil engineers according to me. But the diversion has not happened in steel because they are not being taught in the curriculum actually. That is my own perception actually.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, no, you are right. You were saying something.
yeah,
But
so
joke apart, we didn't study in the BTech. Everybody, there is only we just seated on the last bench. We are we have designed after when coming to a picture. This is the only for the your exposure, not a knowledge, not a teaching. If anybody wants to design the connection design, anybody wants, and he studied 10 to 12 hours, he are ready to give it. Maybe a first time it is a 90% incorrect, and even a 10th time it is a 10% incorrect. Everybody, if he want to design, and he definitely give.
Yeah, agreed, Padmanabhan.
yeah, so the two things. One is that again going back, so you cannot force a material onto anything, or it's a decision of that comes up from the requirement, the inherent nature of the project and what the project demands. So if you see airports, railway stations, everything, the automatic choice, irrespective of the price, irrespective of the manpower availability, whatever technical expertise, software, this, that, they have been, the movement has shifted to steel. If you look at all the petrol pumps, if I look at a sort of modular transformation, that happened 10-15 years ago, the entire petrol pump the setup just transformed into a modular system overnight. So I don't think that, it's this. So if there is a demand, we are in a stage where the pendulum is swinging. So, the demand has risen, so there is paucity of skilled manpower, expertise, technical know-how and all that. The pendulum will, ultimately stabilize at some point. So I think that. The second point I wanted to also address is that, somebody mentioned the real estate not shifting. I think if you look at the urban policy, and I've worked on, urban policy and urban projects as well, including town planning schemes and how infrastructure in Indian cities was transformed. Our cities were a mess, up to very recently. The whole policy of not permitting high-rise buildings, permitting only certain configurations, all that still would never be the automatic choice. Even in Switzerland, it is not. Even in Hong Kong, it is not. Even in Europe, it is not. For this type of built environment. So let us look at that reality also. There is no way you're going to force steel onto that. Now if you say that suddenly we are talking about 200-meter tall buildings, automatically the pendulum is going to shift to steel. Because like Utsav was saying that the footprint sizes of steel members versus that and the FAR, so that is going to be a no-brainer. So I don't think that we are really in that. The key question is whether we do have the expertise to cater to both this and to arrive at a lot of these projects for the next 10 years are also going to be the middle one, where partial shift in steel is going to be required for speed, so unless we offer as an industry a whole kit of parts, PEB works because it gives you that, aap mere ko foundation de do, board le lo, main pura building leke aa raha hu. So whether it's the sheeting, or whether it's the trusses, or whether it's the windows and everything, so so in real estate, if our biggest deterrent is that the panels cannot be in wood or in flimsy material. We need brick. So that is a user requirement.
There will be. See, that I think innovation probably will answer those things. There will be new material. There will be new ways of connecting things. There will be new type of panels available which will go with steel. Yeah. See, once we have a necessity, we want to construct with steel. We have other part available. We know steel is going to give me better answer. Then some small teething problem here and there will be solution to that. Like one thing which I tell many of my customer whenever I talk to them, if it is question of steel price fluctuations, okay, you give a fixed order, let them procure all raw material on day one. Let them procure it. Fine. So you want to invest, anyway you want to invest, and you will end up paying them after 2 months. So it's 2 months of interest that's going to cost, but that will be much smaller money than otherwise price increase would be.
Actually, it is a cash flow issue. Today, most of the businesses, not only pre-engineered building, you take any infrastructure companies, large infrastructure, who are all there, IVRCL, GMR, Lanco. It is not that there were dearth of projects. They had a huge number of projects, huge margin, but they are all sunk today. The only reason is cash flow. And your cash is stuck, then you are finished because you cannot take any new opportunity. If the cash is stuck, and the main issue today is that if it is civil construction, people are ready to pay the money without any problem.
Exactly.
Yeah, because civil they procure, they don't procure, they do the work there. So it is visible.
Even steel and cement, you procure in mud.
Steel you procure, you do in your factory. When the material reaches the site, then 90% of the cost is already incurred, including the duties. You pay to the government also.
Correct.
And then we talk, no, material aa gaya, but it is okay. I'll pay it only after it is erected, after I give 1 year. Ye sab kya ho raha hai? This is actually killing the industry.
Correct.
I'm humble submission.
So we've tried everything, right? Because as a continuous consumer of steel PEB buildings, we've tried all models. You lock the price on day one. We've done that. You you pay for the entire material upfront. We've done that. We've also gone and said that if in case you just want to do the job work, which is your time, your effort, your electricity, the rest of the risk is on me. I will purchase all the material at whatever is the market price.
Yeah.
Don't put the hedging cost on me. Hedging cost is all mine. You just whatever is your conversion ratio. We've done that as well. And in each model, there is a pro and there is a con.
Yeah, of course.
And invariably, for all these models to work, it is the volatility of steel prices.
Yeah,
for any model to work.
Yeah, of course. So see, that's what we are talking about. There are ways. Now, what he was saying is you reduce the life cycle, so your risk automatically reduces. Maybe. So there will be, it's not one solution that's going to solve all problems in one go. There will be several things which once we add up, maybe they put together will have a reasonably good solution. May not be foolproof, but reasonably good solution. So that's all about challenges, number one. Number two, innovations that we need to be doing, really speaking. I don't know how much of that we are doing, how many people would be really putting effort and time in doing innovations. For example, you can have, in one of our steel day in past, I think we have seen, some professor is working on different type of connections, different type of connection design so that your construction is faster, so that your fabrication is easier. There are softwares, there are ways of designing things and all. How many structural consultants are really putting effort in innovating those ways? Yeah. There are ways. If you ask any structural engineer, a normal good building of about 2,000-3,000 ton steel will take at least half an hour to run once in StatPro, and there is no alternative available as far as the software is concerned. So you have to innovate, you have to go into details of it, you have to solve your own problems. Nobody is going to give you magic stick that this will solve all your problems. Nothing is going to happen. You put that effort, do it, innovate it, sir. If you keep all this different, it's going to take me a lot more time. Why don't you standardize this? Go talk to architect, talk to developers, tell them that, sir, small thing here and there is going to solve a lot of time problem. I'll tell you, I have discussed with some of the developer, I have told them that, look, I have two choices. One, this design is going to take 1 month at least to complete. Alternatively, I am going to put little extra steel, which may be about 30 to 40 ton for a project, 30 to 40 ton extra steel, and I will finish it off within a week's time. Invariably, developers have chosen, give me saving of 1 month, not 30 to 40 ton. 30 to 40 ton, even if on very conservative side today, would convert to about 50 lakh rupees. But they have said that for me, 1 month is much costlier than that. So what he was saying, that you need to reduce the cycle, complete cycle. Don't talk about reducing only design time, or don't talk about reducing supply time and all. It's complete project cycle. If you reduce, the risk comes down for sure, for volatility of steel price and all, number one. Number two, that building is put to use earlier, they earn much more on the rental incomes, etc. Or if they sell it off, they save on interest cost. So it's all about time probably, which
one more additional thing.
Profit also.
Sir, I'll tell you, there is one more part of it which Mr. Mohan will 100% agree. You have number of engineers. He will have maybe 100 engineers sitting in the office. If those 100 engineers are handling 500 projects, he is happy. If those 100 engineers are handling 400 projects, that's not good condition. You are not going to get more engineers overnight. You cannot recruit engineer tomorrow and he will start giving you output. That's not going to happen. So put the best resources to the optimum use. If my engineer will have to keep doing repetitive jobs, keep doing corrections, keep doing revisions and all, I'm wasting his manpower.
Yeah, Amit, in addition to what you said earlier about using maybe 30 tons more, I think one step that we are missing in the Indian context is also something called a steel mill order. In the US on all our projects, before we issue the drawings, there's something that there's a steel mill order set that is issued. That, okay, for this particular section, I'm going to need so many meters of this. MOQs. And that's based on, yeah. And so I think we are not doing enough of that, when the other thing that we always hear is, there's not some sections that are not available with the steel manufacturers. So if we do a steel mill order set, which is, we don't do that in India. If we start doing that, I think then the mills also know what is coming up. There's an additional time reduction in that, and you get your steel a little bit ahead of time. Faster. So in addition to integrating and reducing the design cycle, this is something, an advance notice to the mill orders that this is what I'm going to need and this is how much I'm going to need it. And if there's two sections very close by, and like Amit said, okay, if I'm going to be using just the higher one, then it kind of really makes a little bit more sense.
Yeah. Bonji, sorry, we have 15 minutes, so I would prefer to take question from all participants. Yeah.
Can we have the mic?
As a designer, we should not get succumbed to the
real estate owners, that is, I just wanted to tell you, just now Hariom sir, he was telling that comparison of the steel and all. When we had a meeting in Hyderabad, we went to one of the sites. So I just don't want to name any of the sites. And who is the designer and also I don't want to tell. There we went and saw the connections are very poor and the building is very poorly designed and executed. And we got astonished. That's a big company in the Hyderabad also. So we should not, as a designer, we should never compromise on the safety aspect. 30-storied building with a 4.3 kgs, in my opinion, it's very difficult to achieve. So that we'll have to
let's keep that as a goal. Let's keep that as a goal. See, if somebody has achieved it, I would take that
okay,
as a.
But we need to be. I mean, we should not get succumbed to the pressures from the. Owners. As a designer, we should have a proper design, safety design. Everything has to be kept in the mind whenever we take that into this thing. So I really appreciate if somebody is doing, but we should not get into that kind of a.
Safety is the first, optimization is the second. Okay, and everybody, I think no structure engineer want to fail the structure. Exactly. There is the problem in the experience or capacity. Right. Okay, so there may be a issue of the experience, not like that ki everybody want to fail the structure. The first you can go, every structure engineer wants the safe and the good building.
Right.
Nobody
so we need to trust. We need to have trust. That's for sure. As I said, that can be a target.
I think we are talking about optimization. We are talking about optimization. We are not talking about compromise. So I don't think that. I think optimization
is different. Optimization is different, and compromise.
So I don't think nobody said compromise.
Nobody wants to compromise. There is a less experience. Nobody know how the effect goes in the future. This is the only issue. Nobody wants the compromising.
Last visit we had to the site also. There we had a experience. That is what I am just sharing.
Thank you so much, sir.
Sir, actually I am from SAIL.
Yeah, just one sec. Just give him.
Actually, sir, discussion was going on regarding the value of the prices. The steel prices, sir, not only always go up, it comes down also. From last 1 or 2 years.
That's right. He's right. He's
tremendously get down. So one who is making stock of on the first day or there, and then he may be in the disadvantageous position over the period. And also, sir, manufacturers also provide the fixed rate contract also for 1 year, 6 months, whatever it is required. Just I wanted to add this information. That's all.
Yeah. Jaydeep, come on.
A few challenges we are facing in PEB market. Number one, but Mohan sir has already told, customers needs to know that once they are ordering PEB, for steel we have to book almost 80% of steel while we get the order.
Right.
See, we cannot wait because of the volatility in the market. But in case of payment terms, whenever it comes to payment terms, the 50 crores orders, they want to give 5% advance. So, we have almost become, PEB contractors have become like investors to the client nowadays. We are investing almost, 80% of the thing we are buying, and customers end of the day pays us 5%. So I think we as a PEB committee should, look into this matter. Cash flow is really becoming a big issue.
That's 100%. That's very true.
Because we cannot keep the things, the volatility, we cannot keep after 2 months we'll buy. We have to buy the entire thing. This is a very, I think with all persons who are there present, we have to educate, we are the PEB players, we can only educate the customers regarding them.
That is very true. Someone who is facing the hit knows it best.
We are investing, sir. We are investing. PEB contractors are investing.
Right.
Secondly, they are not, we are at risk because sometimes they tell that before dispatch payment. Before dispatch also we are seeing that the projects are on hold, they have cash issues, so our plants are loaded up with materials. So they should be, picking up the materials at the correct time.
Yeah, but who will solve this?
Can I respond to that? We understand that this is a serious challenge that as a PEB vendor, you invest 80% of the contract value on day one, and then you wait for a 2 to 3 month time period to recover that money. As a developer, we've used steel extensively. We've used precast concrete extensively. I think the solution that we have evolved with our precast vendor is we pay him something on casting of the material, something on dispatch, something on erection. So there is a continuous cash flow which is kind of built over the life of the contract. Unfortunately, PB vendors have not embraced this. That is something that you as vendors need to get together, decide a formula that the day I buy material, this is the money. You be open with your customer that this is the material that I've bought. Give him the purchase orders that you placed with the steel mills. Recover some payment. When you receive that material, recover some payment. When you start the cutting, welding, etc., and the members go into paint shop, you recover some material and then on dispatch. So that should solve some issue. As far as build projects are put on hold, etc., that's something which is developer to developer. It is a very specific issue with developers. People like us, the day we sign the LOI, we are hell bent on finishing the building as soon as possible. All my PB vendors, plenty of them are sitting in this room. They are afraid to take calls from us because we are pushing them to deliver material. We are in that speed that if you can deliver, if I place an order today morning, I want the material today evening. My vendors are not able to do that. I am ready with all the support that you want to deliver it, but you're not able to deliver that. So I think it's an inherent issue. The way the PEB business is structured today. You as an industry will need to relook at how you pick up orders. And like Amit Bhai mentioned a little while ago that if X vendor is quoting certain price, just drop the price and pick up the order, change the order conditions. All this doesn't help the industry as a whole. So that is something that also needs to change.
Second challenge which we are facing is majorly the dearth of structural designers.
That's well discussed, I think, in the beginning
because
itself.
In India, it has become only one place where you get designers. In other places, people are not
I'll
coming.
tell you, Jaideep, see, the way everyone needs to look into is, yes, you are not getting good structural designers. Fine, understood, accepted.
Train them.
What is next? One is hire freshers, train them, and get them to the level where they start delivering what you want. Right now, your expectations may be much higher from them than actually what should be. That can be true, probably. Second is, you have certain number of engineers available. Use them to the optimum levels. I'm not saying use them to maximum. Use them to optimum. Don't make them do each and every work, number one. Number two, restrict revisions, restrict errors. When you are designing it, put some checks in place, put some standardizations in place so that the resource which is available to you is not overstressed unnecessarily. See, you are not going to get an equivalent new resource just like that. It's never going to happen. Never.
Amit, and I have a very humble suggestion here. All the stalwarts are sitting here from the steel industry. Is it possible to design some 6 months course on the structural design?
We do have.
And why don't we call upon the freshers to do this course, certify them, and then recruit them?
We are already doing that. We have, I don't know whether you are present in Hyderabad, that course material also. The book was published, it's available on Amazon also. All these things are possible.
No, it's not only book. I feel that let them go through the rigorous course of 6 months. Let's charge for that.
Why will I force and why will they listen to my forcing it? It's their choice.
It's the steel industry.
Right, steel industry is doing it. They must be training at least 100 of engineers.
No, it's going on. Let me be honest. It's not only design engineers, even detailers are in shortage. Yes. If you really see, there are a lot of courses like Tekla modeling course. There are a lot of institutes available. They are training.
Steel design also they are available.
But the issue is that how many people are even civil engineers, they are coming out, but they embrace computer sciences because that is much more, they pay better initially. And when you get the same civil engineer, let us say to maybe into your design, you start with a certain salary, whereas you go into IT, you get multiples of that.
Yeah.
So people are getting attracted. But if you really see, while that challenge is there, the only thing is that we need to take fresh engineers, keep on training them, and if at all, like a hit rate, if you take around 10, maybe 2 may be retained by you. 8
One will be probably genuine, he will adapt.
So that would be the way it is going to, and in coming days, it is going to be much more.
See, that's true with all engineering for that matter. Even mechanical engineers, you may not be getting really good quality mechanical engineers. You may not be getting good quality. How many engineers you will, out of a batch of 100 engineers, you will anyway have 1 or 2 only. You cannot have all of them of best quality. You can never have that.
Yeah.
Amit, this is the case with any industry.
Right.
If you look at pharmaceuticals, if you look at automobile, they all went through this. So they did backward integration, they set up their own colleges, they farmed their own engineers.
Yeah. It's completely up to you how efficiently you are using your resources.
Yeah.
See, you want to use every money, every rupee that you have, but you don't want to count your design engineers that way. You need to do that.
As far as steel detailers though, I mean there's plenty of them in India.
Rightly said,
India is the steel detailers for the entire world, I think. I mean there's a lot of back offices,
that has increased the cost.
So we need to pay more.
See, there will be balance. There will be balance.
You are right, and that has increased the cost because they pay in dollars here. And whereas the same cost, the PEB engineers, when they go to the customers,
they don't get.
In fact, the prices come down.
No. Someday you will start exporting and you will start getting better price from India also.
I don't think India need to really export. India has sufficient work.
No, that is right, but you are not getting paid well. You are not getting so much paid here. So if you start exporting, it will get paid better, and that maybe that averaging will
so
start.
Much, even whatever industries today, even if you multiply by 2, it will still be less because
I agree.
The steel penetration is only 1%. If at all it goes to 5%, I'm telling you, it would be phenomenal.
Amit, we have 3 minutes left.
Yeah, we have 3 minutes. Any more questions from audience?
Sir.
Okay.
I just wanted to highlight the point which you started with standardization. Actually, this is the pioneer ones started with some, copybook tonnages, copybook modules, base spacing, whatever. And they had some X amount of kg per square meter. Right, standardization. But now I could find that a developer in B1D having 1,000 acres of space has 21 buildings, none of them same. So how can we?
No, I'm not talking about that standardization. Each building will be different. You can never have same building copied everywhere. That's not standardization, that's copying. By standardization, what I mean is you need to have a typical process. The way you go for it. Or you have standardization of specifications. If it is in this area, you use this. Or for a particular developer, you have this. And you just take it forward from there. Another standardization probably I'll say is if you are building a warehouse, almost all grid needs to be same. Don't have different grids everywhere. If you have different grids, I'm going to take 1 month to design. Actually, right? Those kind of standardization is what I was talking about.
I have an issue here while coming to the same point. Actually, we have moved away from standardization. I'm trying to be honest, Amit. If you really see our design also, when we are looking at Earlier we had, let us say the thickness of plates, 4, 5, 8, then we go to 10, after that 12,
we have everything now.
then 16, 18, 22. Now for every you have. So we have gone away. So your SKUs have gone up, so the inventory carrying costs have gone up. So that is all to see how we can optimize. So actually there are advantages of standardization and disadvantages. When you have standardization, you make it more modular. If you make it more modular, it is easy to replicate. But unfortunately, because of this optimization pressure with different designers, you get into so much. Maybe I am talking about internally only. Maybe if you give it to 3 designers in your own thing, your designer would say, that guy is doing better, let me modular isko thoda tweak karenge. So it becomes the issue in when I'm talking about a manufacturing plants, is that you should see that modular kitna banaoge, you can deliver more better. Maybe you may be increasing by 5 tons or 2 tons or 10 tons, but the repeatability will be much higher. But in case you fall into the trap,
exactly,
then you are in out.
So you must be able to give option to your customer that, look sir, I have very good standardizations and I have these things available to me. If you want this, it's going to cost you 20 ton, 30 ton extra, but I will deliver this in 3 months time. If you want your design, I will optimize it, I will save 20, 30 ton for you, it will take me 6 months. You choose whatever you want and just see.
Any other questions? Yes, about the curriculum we were talking earlier. Actually, in my master's also, there was steel was an optional subject.
Yeah, and
so there is a curriculum problem which I see. One thing, and second is the perception about our industry. When we go and ask the freshers about the construction industry or who are fresh graduates, the perception is somewhat wrong. And there is a considerable pay gap also between fresh civil engineers and fresh IT engineers.
Right.
So how to deal with that and how to make freshers aware about our industry and change the perception?
Right. So to start with, number one, we are trying to, anyway, this forum, we all should be doing this. And I think Mr. Avneet has taken initiative towards that. We are giving all this conference live feedback to many engineering colleges. Mr. Ramparya has suggested one college, I suppose, this time.
Today we are live. All the discussion that we are having.
We are live in some engineering colleges. So we are into that. That is happening. As far as pay difference is concerned, probably, I don't know. That depends on your capability, the student's capability and need of that kind of manpower. Okay. If you are capable, if you can handle structural design on your own, people will definitely pay you very high. If you do not know what is bending moment diagram, what is shear force diagram, and you are going to do site supervision only, you will be paid like that only. Students need to understand and accept this. If you want better pay checks, if you want to do, you want to earn more, you have to give that return to your client.
No, the developers need to pay us more than the
No, but he obviously, no, developer will also say, if I get something, I am ready to pay you. If you save my 100 rupees, I am ready to give you 15, 20 rupees, no problem.
Right.
It's more of a win-win.
It has to be, you have to support your own.
You have to show value.
You have to show the value addition. Sir, I can save this money for you. Sir, I will do so much of work for you. What the design which I do will be worth crores of rupees. So there is no problem paying me few lakh rupees.
Yeah, I think.
But you should be able to prove that. If you cannot do it, you will not be paid.
And nowadays, whatever, even the interviews that we take for fresh recruits and everything, they only talk about pay. There is no talk about value. There is no value, what value they bring on the table or they can bring on the table. What is the innovation? वो सब की तो बात ही नहीं है. Pay package कितना होगा, ये होगा, वो होगा.
Believe me, I'm telling you a real example which I have faced. I am recruiting engineers right now. I took interview of 10 engineers over last 15 days. Okay. I have asked one simple question, simply supported beam, 2-point load and a UDL. Just draw bending moment diagram for that. All 10 of them were incorrect. I couldn't find even one of them. If you are not capable, nobody is going to pay you. You have to prove your capabilities that, look, I have studied. All 4 years I have studied hard and I can handle your entire design on my own. If you are doing that, people will pay you. Why they will not pay you? They want that. Everybody here is saying that I am not getting manpower, I am not getting manpower. If they get it, they will pay. Why will they not pay?
One last.
Our time is up, so I think last. Yeah.
So coming back to his question, so one has to have a basics right. You know, people are coming and they know how to develop the stat files, but they don't know how to read the bending moment, how to optimize the section capacity. They don't know how to moment inertia, how to calculate. Exactly. Section capacity, they don't know how to calculate.
So
all those things, we have to teach them.
Here to train
I
them.
look at only fresher, like, you know, if they have enthusiasm, that's all.
Yeah.
That is enough for me to teach them and bring them up.
Yeah,
that's
we are here to teach. We train anyway, all freshers get training in some of the other...
we don't expect any kind of a knowledge. Only enthusiasm is enough for them to be in the office.
Capacity to learn.
Capacity to learn, that's all.
Yeah.
That is what I look at that way. Thank you, sir.
Okay, fine.
Just want to...
We have 5 minutes or so.
Yeah, we can.
Okay.
Just one announcement. We have given the feedback form. I request everybody to fill those and please give it to the concerned staff. And second, towards the end, we'll have a group photograph of everyone who are there in the hall.
Yeah, thank you.
Hello. Just want to know the book you have mentioned that is Amazon available on Amazon.
Yeah, just after completing this, just meet me, I'll give you that.
Okay.
I'll give that. It's available. It is written by one engineer of Pebs Pennar, I suppose. Rahim Tullah, right? Rahim Tullah, right? Yeah, Mr. Rahim Tullah is the author. He has written a very nice book. You can buy it. That's available on Amazon.
Thank you.
Government already started more than 600 courses, and that is the free of cost, and that video lecture prepared by the IIT professor. So any student would like to attend particular course for the steel connection or the steel structure or even any specific design of concrete structure. So it's already available. So it's not like that the government is not doing the changing of the curriculum or syllabus like that. Okay, so nowadays...
people can use it.
Yeah,
of course. So we will take your help. Maybe we can publicize that in magazine.
Yeah.
Whoever wants to use can use that.
Yeah, that specific website is that the swayam.org, and in that all branches, all courses are available there, so that anybody can access. It's not only for the students. It's any professional can give the exam and get the certificate also. So that type of credit courses, 6 weeks, 12 weeks are available.
So it's there, but it is not known to us. Exactly. So those things are available. It's our willingness. If we want to learn, we will find it out from some other place. But you should have that urge to do.